So the latest chapter in the ongoing Warner Brothers Netflix acquisition is going to come down to Europe. European regulators are going to have to approve a deal. And it's funny because a lot of attention has been on American regulators approving this deal and what Netflix may need to throw at the Trump administration to get a particular deal done, and Paramount thinking that the Trump administration may be in its pocket. So the Europe angle is one that there's been very little coverage on. But from what I am told, there is enormous disagreement between Paramount executives and Warner Brothers Discovery's board and executives in terms of the likelihood of a Netflix-Warner deal being approved in Europe. I have a Paramount source who told me that he swears on his life a deal is going to get rejected by the EU and its regulators. The Warner side, I have a source over there who told me that this person thinks it's 95% likely that the EU and its regulators will approve a deal. So one side is going to be wrong if a deal, in fact, gets so far as to actually be approved by EU regulators. Now, there is a world here where Warner could be convinced that, hey, maybe a deal isn't as likely to get resolved. And so therefore, we should start up talks again with Paramount to try to get a deal done there if Paramount raises its bid and suddenly Paramount will end up being the buyer of all of Warner Brothers Discovery. That includes the linear cable networks, that's like CNN, TBS, TNT, the Discovery Networks, HGTV. All of that is part of a Paramount bid, which of course is currently $30 a share. If Warner Brothers sells to Netflix, all of those linear cable networks, they would be spun out into a separately publicly traded company called Discovery Global. They would not go along with the rest of the company, which is HBO Max and the Warner Brothers studio, over to Netflix. So we are still in this limbo time period where it is possible that Warner could change its mind, pay a breakup fee to Netflix, and decide that they want to do a deal with Paramount, and perhaps this European issue will be the catalyst toward Warner Brothers changing its mind, or it will be the defining characteristic in a deal about whether or not Warner decides that it wants to stick with the Netflix deal and see if that deal gets approved. And if it does get approved and they get shareholder approval, then Warner will end up as a part of Netflix.